सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
So, last class we were talking about, we said that Prakriti manifests as causal body, which manifests as subtle body and then gross body. How does this apply to non-living things? If they don't have the causal body, subtle body, like rocks, mud, if they are also part of.
In any philosophy discussion, first thing I have told you is remember the frame. What is a frame? If you forget the frame, you will get into absurdities like this. What is a frame?
That there are two elements, Purusha and
I repeat again. Any philosophy, spirituality, religion, you use any word. Any one of those things you use, you got to remember these two things. Context. What is the context? This is the problem. Many people don't keep the context in reference. If you do not keep the context in reference, then it has no meaning. The context is someone is experiencing samsara. And he says, is that all? Or is there a way out of the samsara? After that only philosophy starts. Without that question, no teacher would ever open his mouth on his own. Like people, a lot of them come and ask me this. Sir, what's your opinion? I have no opinion. Who cares about my opinion? Right? What's your opinion about demonetization? As though Modi is waiting for Ishwaran's opinion to take a call. First of all, is it his personal opinion? But then we keep asking, for what? Why do you want to know about it? What's your opinion about education system of India? Isn't it very bad? If you keep only you as a reference point, it is bad. Is it fault of the system or you? What is it? Remember always, philosophy, we discuss only in the context. The context is some human, he is experiencing something which he is not comfortable about. He feels a discomfort. So he starts asking this question, is there a way out for this discomfort? Correct? Exactly like you experience high temperature. Are you comfortable with it? You are not comfortable with it. So what you do? You go to a doctor. He will check and tell you the cause of the temperature. Then what do you have? What is your choice? To take that as a choice and say, oh, this is the cause, is it? Okay. Now what is the solution? He says, take this medicine. This is the course. Why are you giving this antibiotic? Why not that antibiotic? You can ask him. If he has no other job to do, he will sit and explain. If he has other job to do, what he will do? That's why most of the hospitals, they make the patient pay the fee first and then only you go and see the doctor. It's not that, you see the doctor. Earlier, we used to do that. You see the doctor, then we ask the doctor, how much doctor? Whatever comes in his mind, he will say. To one person, he will say 50 rupees. To one person, he will say 10 rupees. One person will say 100 rupees. Whatever comes, he will say, that's all. Sometimes he will say, no, nothing, sir, you go. Also, he will say. Now there is no such thing. Before you see the doctor, you have to pay the fee first. Why? So you would go there and waste his time. If he is a good doctor, if he is a genuine doctor, if he has time also with him, if he has the luxury of time with him, he will explain to you. If any one of that is missing, he is not going to sit and explain. How did he arrive at this conclusion that you are having this disease? He is not going to sit and explain. Will you be interested actually? When you have disease, will you be interested to know how he arrived at this conclusion? Your focus will be where? I have to get rid of my disease. You don't care about how he arrived at the cause. You don't care about the efficacy of the medication. Something you give, sir. Faster it works, better for me. You do not experience the cause. You experience only the symptoms. Remember always. Samsara is the symptom. Your sense of insecurity, the sense of incompleteness, the sense of wanting to get something. If only that happens, if only this, if only that, something should come and make you complete. As you are, what are you? You are a wanting, incomplete personality. Something you expect to happen. All that I want is what? This. That will vary from person to person. But as soon as that happens, what is your experience again? Are you still in that state of completeness? No. Something else comes. Something else comes. This keeps happening again and again and again. The student is one who has recognized this, then he goes to the master and asks, what is it? That's why when we discuss about creation and physics discussing about creation, there's a world of difference. What is the difference? That's also theory only, correct? Is there anyone sitting there and watching when the Big Bang happened and made a note, recorded that? Conclusion only, no. Inference. Inferential conclusion of somebody. Okay, for what? Again, he will also say what? I'm doing all this analysis for what, sir? To make our life, whether there is water in Mars. Okay, if there is water in Mars, what are you going to do? Bring that water here or you go there? That's how we came here to Earth. What did we do here? In a matter of 2000 years, okay, 5000 years. In a matter of 5000 years, what we have done to this earth? Incapable of living. Not only for us, Earth cannot live. Forget about we living on Earth. That is why we started searching for Mars. Okay, if Mars is where human beings can live there, what are they going to do there? Sir, Mars is 3 times bigger. If you destroy Earth in 5,000 years, 10,000 years, you will take 30,000 years to destroy Mars. And then what are you going to do? Is that a solution? Or shifting? This is how exactly miniature scale all of us try to resolve. So one fellow asks this question, sir, why should we do all this? I don't want all this cycle. I want to get out of this, incompleteness, sense of wanting, constantly seeking validation. Constantly I feel, I am nobody. And as I am worthless, useless personality. So someone from outside has to come and say, no, you are such a valuable person. Your services are required for this company. Company has to come and tell you. Then you think, yes, I am valued in this company, so I will work in this company. The moment the company says, no, I don't think, your services are relevant to this one, resign. I'm not saying continue, okay? But then, wanting validation from the world, you feel something missing all the time in my life. Is there a way? After you experience this alone philosophy, you should start. You see, that is why this is called Veda Anta. Anta comes when? End comes. Before end, there is a middle and there is a beginning, no? Only then end, no? Imagine, starting of a movie, they put the end. I wish that actually. Imagine the name of the movie, title, The End. First thing they put what? The end. The end means what? Over. What everybody wait so much just to see the title? So the end title has to come in the end only. It cannot come in the beginning. It's called conclusions. Conclusions comes last, not in the beginning. Why? Because after you have gone through all these things, investigation starts. After you have experienced. So, the entire subject context is what? Someone who is experiencing the symptoms, he is asking that question, how to get over that problem. Now you are asking, does the rock have the problem? Rock is very comfortable as a rock. It has no issues. A tree is as comfortable as a tree. A creeper is so comfortable being a creeper. It feels I am complete. No creeper feels incomplete looking at the oak tree. They don't feel that. Why I am not like that? A lotus doesn't feel with reference to a rose. We refer, God's feet to lotus. It's always compared to lotus. Inna special. Lotus la inna special. Rose would have been much better actually. More fragrance, no? Big feet. Lotus is a big feet. Sir. Is that the reason? Have you ever thought? Why it's always the feet is Lord's feet, Guru's pada, feet, all that is always compared to lotus. Why lotus? Brilliant fellows actually. In the comparison also, always when you compare, there is a similarity of quality. You see, what is so unique about lotus? All of you have seen lotus? Flower? How many of you know the fragrance of lotus? Have you ever registered the fragrance of lotus? You have to take it, put it inside your nose. Even then you will not get it. You know that? That fragrance of lotus. You get tuned to the fragrance of the lotus. Rose flower and these perfumes and all will look jarring to you. Look gross. Any other flower. In this, all those flowers, you have looks. Say, why it's so gaudy? Because the fragrance of the lotus is not perceivable to 99.999999999% of noses. Similarly, the grace, the grandeur of the Lord's feet, who will recognize? %99.9999999% of people will not know. They will transact with it. In fact, it's very easy to see lotus, where it's a big one. So big, and it is easy to recognize. But still, you never get the fragrance of it. A rose flower doesn't say, why I am not so subtle like lotus. The rose is very comfortable as rose. Lily is so comfortable as lily. Lotus is comfortable as lotus. You go to animals, animals are very comfortable as they are. No lion has a superiority complex or inferiority complex. It doesn't feel superior, doesn't feel inferior. It loses a territory to a new lion. It will not go and sit in vengeance and wait. I will wait for my opportunity. I will scheme and plan and do this, do that. Nothing of that sort. You see how gracefully they go. You see this, dogs fight. Lions you may not see. Dogs fight for their territory. Have you seen how they fight? Ferocious. But gracefully the dog, which does, falls and shows its paws. The other dog will not do anything. He will just move away. The dog will go his way. This dog will get up and go, as though nothing happened. 2 seconds before, so furious. Suddenly, there's nothing. It just goes. And when they walk back, the dog that wins, the dog that loses, both walk with that same majesty. They don't have any problem. The only person who has a problem is human being. That's why only human being needs this knowledge. Others don't require it. So to him we have to explain what this samsara is, what that symptom is, and what the cause of that symptom, actual virus or bacteria, whatever the cause. You have to prescribe a course of medication. So this Purusha, Prakriti analysis and all that comes within this context. Always remember, any philosophy. If anywhere you see philosophy without that context, you must understand that's not philosophy. Maybe you may call it as something else. It's a fine thought, it's a great thinking, a beautiful analysis, very good inferences, a great inventions and discoveries, that you can say, but you cannot call that as philosophy. So always remember, the context has to be, I'm experiencing this samsara. Technical word we use is samsara for that feeling. And wanting to get over that is called as mumukshatva. Only then this starts. So, sir, what about, gross body, subtle body, causal body for the rocks? They don't, it is, irrelevant as far as they are concerned. It is a redundant thing for them. It doesn't fall into that purview at all, actually. So therefore we say, why waste your time? In fact, the person who is sitting in the hospital with a disease will not inquire the neighbor. Who will be talking? Attendants are there, no? Those fellows can't keep quiet. Right? What happened? Sometimes you see, hospitals they have, four people in one room, 3 in one room, sharing room, or sometimes in general ward. They're there. After one day, they will not know what to do. So what to do now? Start going and asking, what happened to him? What did doctor say? What of it to you? Gossip. Don't make philosophy a gossip session. Without this frame, any discussion you can have, that is called gossip session. Spiritual gossip, we can say. That is the difference between this class and the philosophy class happens in the university. In fact, if you really want to study philosophy, you should go there, not here. This is not the place. Go not and there. They were the one who study philosophy. But then, you can study philosophy, you will come out as what? You will have a degree. But you will continue to have the same. Disease will not change. See? Sometimes a disease cannot be, internally you will feel feverish. You will not even register. Fever is there, but you will not register. Like some of them, have this diabetic patients. They get heart attack, but they don't get pain. Because of diabetes, they don't get pain. Since they are not getting pain, they don't feel the thing. You see, that's more dangerous. That's how a lot of people, they come and tell me, sir, what you are teaching, my uncle was living that Vedanta. Sugar patient, not. All that it means is what? He looks normal to your eyes. Why? Not because he has become a Mahatma. Because if that guy has become a Mahatma, he will inspire everyone around him to grow. Has he inspired anybody? Nothing. He looks very flat, very normal, a very ordinary fellow. But then what is happening to him? I am experiencing agitation, he is not experiencing agitation. Any difference? You are having heart attack, no sugar. He is having sugar plus heart attack. 2 diseases he has. So he is not registering. So we think, he is better. So what is he going to do? He will continue and collapse. No chance of redemption. No way to get over. So some of them, who feel, we are all leading not over. Why are you getting worked up, Ishwar? You relax. Many times, people think, we get agitated. What is that? The context is this. This is Purusha, clear? This is Purusha, Prakriti. Purusha is the experiencer. Purusha assumes the position of an experiencer. But Purusha by himself will he experience. Purusha means Brahman. Okay. Can he experience? No, because there is nothing other than Brahman for Brahman to experience. Because any experience means there are 3 things: the experiencer, the experienced, and the actual experience. 3. All 3 has to be different. Only then it's possible. Otherwise it's impossible. The experiencer is different from the experienced, which is different from the experience. Isn't it? That's why the experienced may be the same, but the experience is not same for all of us. It's the same movie. You go to the review, or 100 people watch the movie, you ask them how is the movie. Each one will say one thing about the movie. One person says, what a fantastic acting, sir. Another fellow says, overacting, sir. Like typically we used to say, Shivaji Ganesan, what an acting, man. Whew. Look at that. Look at the scene. How he was, expressing his overacting, sir. He is calling, without knowing, how phone number he calls. And the lady who picks up the other side is his lost wife. And he hears, hello, she says. The moment he heard that hello, that's it. Now, how do you express that? I wish, I had the screen to show you people, Other husband, any wife will be envious. So I was showing that movie. So Kritika said, will you do that? I said, for that I have to lose you first. Okay, va? He said, she went away. So you have to lose, her, for 30 years. After 30 years, if I hear your voice, obviously I will also react like that. My God, you got to see that, unbelievable scene that was. Now you watch that, looks like, war acting. Who will do all that? The fellow is a police inspector. He gets the news that his wife is dead. She passed away. And with the uniform, he walks. Because he has that pride now. When he has the uniform now, he will control himself. He has to feel war acting. Right? Now, there are people who say, Marlon Brando are nothing compared to this fellow. He has to learn from him, actually. In fact, he himself said that. I wouldn't have performed like that. He is better. They couldn't perform. Amazing. Great. Overacting. Who will sing like that? Who will, play like that? Who will walk like that? Nobody walks like that. Imagine somebody walking that. It looks funny, actually, Experience varies. Experiencer is different. Experienced is different. Imagine a scenario where all three one and the same. Is experience possible? So the moment you say Purusha, Brahman alone. That's why in Sankhya they said Brahman is one reality, Purusha is one reality, Prakriti is another reality. Right? But then the problem is, does the order of reality same level? They gave both having equal status. And that's where Vedanta comes and says, no, it's not like that. Then what is happening? Then how do you account for experiences then? You say, look here, Purusha stands as Purusha independently. But then, that Prakriti alone can interact with each other. Because variation is possible only in Prakriti. Prakriti is made up of what? Of all the 5 elements. And all the 5 elements are different, no? It's not that all the 5 elements are one and the same. Space is different, air is different, fire is different, water is different, earth is different. There are 5 different elements. Fits in. So, one can interact with the other. Experiencer, experienced. So, one can become an experiencer, another can become experienced. But then, like Aparna was asking, does the table experiences the mic? Does this table experiences the chair? Or the chair experiences the table? This is existing. That is existing. But is there an interaction between the two? There is no interaction. Because for eternities, these two can be here, just there. But then experience is not happening, interaction is not happening. So, how is it that only in some it is happening, some it is not happening? That's why we say Prakriti has 2 different properties. One is called Chetana Prakriti, another one is called Achetana Prakriti. Prakriti having 2 properties. Exactly like the sunlight hits everything, but then only when there is a reflecting surface, there is a reflected sun. Otherwise, there is no reflecting sun. On the road, there is a sun. But the moment you keep a bucket of water there, there is a sun. Or there is a pothole and there is water. Then you will find sun reflecting on that water. Correct. Does it mean that sun is reflecting, hitting only water, not the road? No, it's hitting. Because of the nature of the reflecting surface, reflection is possible. In the non-reflecting surfaces, reflected sun doesn't exist. Similarly, this Prakriti itself divides itself into two. Right? One is called Chetana Prakriti, another one is called Achetana Prakriti. But then, that Chetana Prakriti means it is borrowed consciousness. Remember, it's borrowed. So, original owner of that is who? Purusha. Original sun is where? Above. That original sun reflects here. In that sense, he says, Purusha becomes the experiencer of pleasure and pain. Who is experiencing? Not that Purusha. Which Purusha knows her? Reflected sun. Right? Not the original sun. Without this example, it would be very difficult to understand what he is saying here. So, Prakriti is the cause of the world. World came out from what, sir? From Prakriti. Cause. But then, experience happens here because of what? If you are not, you should experience it. No, that's why you can say there is world. Otherwise, how will you say there is world? You say there is world. How? Sir, I'm seeing, I'm hearing, I'm smelling, I'm tasting, I'm touching. I'm able to interact with the world. Because, which means that world is made up of what? Same 5 elements. The body with which you are experiencing the world is also made up of the same 5 elements. So who is vouching for the existence of the other? You're all with me? World is made up of what, sir? 5 elements. Space, air, fire, water, earth. You are vouching for the reality and the existence of the world on what basis? The basis of you experiencing it. Means what? You are able to see, you are able to hear, you are able to smell, you are able to touch, you are able to taste. Because of that you say, there is. With what you are experiencing all that? With the senses. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. This eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin is made up of what? Same 5 elements. So, who is vouching for whom? Elements are vouching for the existence of elements. That's a proof. Hey. You see the difference? See the complexity there. Vedanta says, no. Prakriti is there. We are not saying Prakriti is not there. It's there. Now people think, world is illusion. They think, Vedanta is saying, oh, the room is not there. Hey, madness or what? What they were talking about is the manner in which you are experiencing that. That is not there. Adha mithya. Exactly like, even if you understand that it is a mirage, right, still you will see it, no? Does it mean, oh, the moment I understand in desert you will see mirage? This is not actual water, it is the heat, wave is what you are seeing as mirage. You have understood that. Understood? Understood. Now you go to Sahara. You will not see, mirage there after that. You will see only sand everywhere. Even if you understand, you will see mirage. That's not going to disappear. Remember. That's what many people think, When Vedanta says world is mithya, it's illusion. They think, it is non-existing. It's not that it is non-existing, please. The way in which you are experiencing the world is not the way it is. way that you are experiencing life is not the way life is. That's called mithya, samsara, wrong experience of yours. So Vedanta gives you the right understanding with which you will be able to experience life as it is. Then you come back to me. That's why typical style of Vedantic teaching is neti. 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 Na iti. Neti means na iti. Not this. Not this. The student comes back to the teacher and says, is this? Says, no, not this. No, not this. Not this. Because the moment you experience the world as it is, you will not go back to the master to verify. Typical one, no, we see, heroine or hero, meets with an accident, then coma. He opens his eyes. First question he asks is what? What question he asks?
Where am I?
Huh? Where am I?
Where is she?
Where is she? Who am I?
Who are you?
Who are you? Right? You people don't study Bhagavad Gita. You people don't watch movie also. Huh? All sorts of questions. Have you ever seen anyone waking up asking, am I awake? Has anybody asked the question? Will anyone ask the question? I had woken up. That is clear to him. Right? There's no doubt about that part. His question is only what? This is real, this is fact. Then comes the rest of it. The same way, the moment you see the world as, you will never have a doubt. As I say, that one knowledge with which you will know everything. Like you say, the dreamer has the knowledge of the dream world. The dreamer has knowledge of the dream world. The waker also has the knowledge of the dream world. You're all with me? Question is, whose knowledge is complete now? Dreamer's knowledge of the dream versus the waker's knowledge of the dream. If you technically see, the dreamer will have a clarity. The waker will never be clear. Right? Vague, distorted. Lot of gaps. Whereas the dreamer, if you ask the dreamer about the dream world, he will say what? He'll come out with, coherence is there. Clarity is there. His things will be, his accounting of the dream world will be so vivid. Waker will never account like that. But still, all of us will say what? Whose knowledge is complete? Waker's knowledge is complete. Why? Not because he knows the details. Because he knows one thing. What? That it was a dream. After they don't require details. Chandogya Upanishad is this. This is all, entire Chandogya Upanishad. 16 sections of, Chandogya Upanishad is only this point. So this Purusha lends his consciousness to one portion of Prakriti. That Prakriti experiences the other portion of Prakriti. Says, I am experiencing. Actually, who is the experiencer? Because of the presence of consciousness only, he is able to say that I am the experiencer. So, who is the owner of that consciousness? Purusha. Therefore, he says, Purusha is said to be the cause of the experience of pleasure and pain, meaning all experiences. He says. And this is where problem comes. In Sankhya. Another one. Problem is, now, Purusha, consciousness, then there is Chetana Prakriti, and then there is Achetana Prakriti. Initially we started with two, Purusha, Prakriti. Now we have come to one Purusha and two forms of Prakriti. Now the question comes is, who are you now? For you, I am the experiencer or experienced. To you, what I am? Experiencer or experienced? I am experienced. To me, you are experienced. Now we ask the question, what are you, what am I? Experiencer or experienced?
Context.
You see that? You're all following, no? Complex only, just, words. It's just because, we use the words, it looks like that. Otherwise, idea-wise, there's nothing, complicated here. Oh. From one point of view, from one angle, you are the experiencer. From another angle, you are the experienced. So, the Chetana Prakriti experiences another Chetana Prakriti.
Not necessarily.
We are interacting, no? See, I am experiencing the table. I am Chetana Prakriti. This is Achetana Prakriti. Problem solved. Okay? So, question is, I am interacting with you. Right? I am experiencer. You are the experienced. This interaction is to be bracketed as Chetana Prakriti interacting with another Chetana Prakriti or Chetana Prakriti interacting with Achetana Prakriti.
Chetana to Chetana. Can be both. It's two Chetana Prakritis.
Can two Chetana Prakriti interact?
There is an interaction.
We are interacting, no?
No, if there is an interaction, if there is
Ah.
a response and reaction,
Yes.
then it becomes interaction between two Chetana Prakriti.
That's what my question is. Is it possible? Because Purusha are not going to interact. So always interaction is happening between Prakriti only. Transactions happens only in the realm of Prakriti. In that realm of Prakriti, what is happening? One Prakriti has the power to reflect the consciousness. Thereby it becomes Chetana Prakriti. Then other is not having the reflective capacity, therefore that becomes Achetana Prakriti. Now we are seeing so many Achetana Prakriti. Similarly, we are also saying there are so many Chetana Prakriti also, no? All of you are there, right? Interacting with each other. So, transaction is happening between Chetana, Achetana, or Chetana, Chetana, Achetana, Achetana transaction not possible. That probability we have taken off. First thing we eliminate that. So now only two chances are there. Chetana, Achetana, Chetana, Chetana. Right? This is where Vedanta goes one step. Says, even though you assume that it is Chetana and Chetana, factually transaction is not happening between Chetana and Chetana. You are experiencing me, right? What part of me you are experiencing? The sound, my voice, my form, or if you come closer, when I give one, you'll feel the touch also, right? Hugging line will never get. One whack only will get. People should be affectionate, no? Affection, nothing here. There also, you transact with the so-called Chetana. Is it Chetana you are experiencing actually?
Take the content of it, it is Chetana.
Are you transacting with the content or you are transacting with the container?
But you take the content of it. You never take the container. You always take the content.
At the class level. Okay. In the class you have to take the content. Right?
Transaction maximum it will be senses ultimately.
Beyond senses,
Senses you can't go.
is there an interaction happening?
Not possible.
Is it happening? They are not thinking. Fine, figure out. That's why they sit and reflect. You say, no, you have to do manana. Manana, what do you do in manana? I am transacting, right? And I am transacting with that. Just because that is responding doesn't mean it has to be Chetana. When I type something to the computer, it responds, no? I ask a question, it responds. Therefore, can you say it is Chetana Vastu? That's why they are saying now they call it as artificial intelligence. Better than human intelligence. AI is better than HI. AI. What is that? Chetana Vastu. No. Still we call it as Achetana. Similarly, when I am asking you a question, you are responding back. Does it mean you are a Chetana Vastu for me?
It is, yes.
On what basis I am claiming you are a conscious being? Is it based on your consciousness or based on my consciousness?
For me, it's my consciousness.
For you, your consciousness alone is consciousness. Everything else is what? Achetanam only. Remember? You see? That is where we say one Purusha. You are all with me? Say one Purusha. What is that one Purusha? Imagine that Chetana can interact with another Chetana, then 2 Purushas will come, 3 Purushas will come, 4 Purusha will come. So many will say, no. There is only one Purusha. Who is that one Purusha? Who is that one Purusha? Everyone who has to say, I. Don't say Brahman. I am that Purusha. Kshetrajñam chapimam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Amazing statement of his we saw in the beginning of the chapter. Kshetrajña is Purusha. Kshetra is Prakriti. So even in the relative sense also, there are not many, it is only one Purusha. The only interesting phenomenon there will be complex phenomenon where our thinking gets stunned is All of us have equal claim to right over that one Purusha. Everyone can claim as theirs. I am, you can say, correct. I am the Purusha, you can also claim. I am the Purusha, I can also claim. Just because you have claimed I am the Purusha doesn't mean I lose my status. Nor can I reduce you to a position of Prakriti. I cannot reduce you to a position of a Prakriti also. Why? Because Purusha and Prakriti are not two independent things. They are one and the same. That's what we see as Ardhanarishwara. Ardhanarishwara. What is Ardhanarishwara? Half Shiva. Amazing visualization. But if you see that painting, it will look, a little funny. That image and all that, when you see it will look funny. But then, amazing visualization of these people. What is that? How do you conceive it? That's why they said, Brahman is inherent power is called Shakti, Maya, Prakriti. So Brahman cannot exist without its Shakti. It's not possible. Nor can Shakti exist independent. So they are intertwined. Factually speaking, you can't say they are two. They are only one actually. It is one and the same thing. You can never separate it. So Purusha is, but then the job done by Purusha is different, the job done by Prakriti is different. So he says, Purusha is the cause for the creation of the world. Prakriti is the cause for the creation of the world. Purusha is the one who is experiencing it. So the experienced Prakriti, experiencer Purusha. Are they two different things, sir? They are not two different things. But it appears to be two different things. Why? Because you are not having the access to that original Purusha, you are having only access to that borrowed Purusha, which is known as Chetana Prakriti. Because of your misunderstanding, because of your wanting of understanding, doesn't mean the facts will change. So therefore, he puts it across the same idea in a very, very poetic manner. See, that's why we call it as Bhagavad Gita. Gita means poetry. It's poetic expression. So the poetic expressions we should understand, not like mathematics formula. Sometimes poets also will give certain facts. Similarly, he also gives certain facts. But then that's not the crux of the text. Most of the time, Krishna speaks the language of a poet. That's why those great masters were called Kavihi. Poets. Those rishis were called Kavihi. Names were given. It's because this poetic expression. Because only in poetry, one word will have many meanings. In mathematics, you can't do like that. If you do like that, you're finished. It's not science. One word, one meaning. One symbol, one meaning. That is science. In poetry, that's not the case. One symbol will have many meanings. This is the sound wife makes from the kitchen. How many meanings are there for that?
Infinite.
You know, goes on and on and on. It just says that this, depending on context, but the sound is same sound. And suddenly, some noise will come from the kitchen. Only husband will understand what is the meaning of that. The guest, if guests also understand, they are useless. Neighbors understand better. Now, worst condition. So many meanings are there, for that one expression. That's poetry. The Bhagavad Gita is, that's why we call it as Bhagavad Gita. It's a song, not poetry. Poetry means what? It has varied meanings. Don't take the literal meaning. You always have to go by the implied meaning. That is where we need to be dependent on the commentators. If there is no implied meaning, if there is direct meaning only is there, you don't require help of anyone to come and comment. But great masters have commented. Now you can't be asking whose commentary is correct. That means the fellow has not understood the text. So we'll say what? Read again. After reading again, the fellow will come back and say, sir, whose commentary is good? Shankara, Madhva, Ramanuja, whose commentary is superb? Again we'll say what? Start. Tahana Bhavatu. Tahana, you have to start again. Why? Because the moment you say you have not understood the text, you see, they were only exploring the things from one angle. Another angle, another angle, another angle. You can go on and on and on exploring it. It will accommodate all that. That's why it is an amazing text, Bhagavad Gita. The greatness of the text is, everyone will have something or the other for them to refer in the Gita. You can come from any system. That's why psychology, they will say, yeah, there is. Management fellow will say there is. Scientists will say there is. Virologists will say something. Then you will find, astrologer will come and say something. Astronomy fellow will say something. Everyone you will find. Dvaita Sampradaya will find. Advaita Sampradaya will find. Vistaya Sampradaya will find. Any Sampradaya you take, that fellow will quote Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the Gita. Krishna says in the Krishna. Krishna says. Now, how can one fellow say everything? That's why he says it is Gita. Pleasure is there. In the production of effect and cause, he says Prakriti is said to be the cause. In the experience of pleasure and pain, Purusha is said to be the cause. Yeah.
So this Purusha lends consciousness to one part of Prakriti, which is the Chaitanya and the Chaitanya.
Bank gives loan to whom? Who applies? So Prakriti applies and takes. He will give to everyone. You should be qualified, no, to receive. So one part of Prakriti is qualified, like the reflecting surface. One part is capable of, another part is incapable of. So it's not the choice of Purusha. I lend, I don't lend. No, he gives equal. But then, does that Prakriti have that power to reflect it? Borrow that consciousness. It has the power to borrow. The uniqueness of Prakriti. Right. This is the unique dimension given by Vedanta. One factor added in Vedanta is this. It says Prakriti has a power, it doesn't have its own consciousness. If you say it has its own consciousness, then there is no difference between Purusha and Prakriti. In fact, Prakriti becomes superior. Purusha becomes redundant then. You say, no. Purusha is there, Prakriti is there. Not that one superior, one inferior. Both are equal. But then what is capable, what is the nature of Purusha different, nature of Prakriti different. Prakriti has one unique quality. What is the unique quality? It can borrow the consciousness and reflect. When it borrows the consciousness and reflects, that borrowed dimension is what is assuming the position that I am the experiencer. But then, is it yours? Because interaction always happens between Prakriti and Prakriti only. But then from where one part of Prakriti assumes I am the experiencer, another part is not assuming that. Because by definition, Prakriti cannot interact with each other. Inert. How can inert interact with each other? Not possible. But then we say there is interaction happening. How? How do you account it? Does Purusha participate in that? No, he is not participating in that. He doesn't participate. But then all this is possible only because of the presence of Purusha. Therefore, original owner is Purusha only. So therefore he says the ultimate cause is Purusha. Therefore, the experiencer status assumed by one part of Prakriti is because of Purusha. That's he says. Even if you don't remember anything else, at least this you remember. The assumed status of I am the experiencer. I experience. What is that I that is experienced? The next verse. Who is that? Who is the experiencer now? Verse 22, another beautiful verse. And 23 is another outstanding one. There is, 2-3 verses. Even though it's only 5 verses, he is talking about Purusha Prakriti. Each verse is a brilliance. How much is packed. And this is, fascinating to see. So he says, who is the one who is suffering? The samsara. Samsaric experience of pleasure, pain and all that. All that, who is experiencing it? So Vedanta says, the mistaken identity assumed by the mind as an independent agent, I, which is not belonging to mind, it is originally belonging to Purusha. Because of that wrong assumption, samsara. Solution, What do you have to do for that? Drop that assumption and put original owner. Give it back to him. Clear your loans. Borrowed money, you enjoyed. Now, return. Borrowed, keep on borrowing. Somewhere down the line, you will be confiscated and put in jail. That's the problem here. That's death. You go on, So the mind assumes that. So that's where the death of the body is assumed by you as my death. When are you dying actually? Does the jiva die? Jiva never dies, actually speaking. Jiva is continuing. Only thing is what? He has moved away from this body and moved to another body. That's about it. But then we say he is dead, he is dead, he is dead. Where he is dead? He is dead now, he must be celebrating. Why? He must be realized. That's real death. The death of the jiva. Na? What is the real death of the jiva? Realization is the death of the jiva. What is the jiva, sir? Jiva equals what? Assumed I. Mind assuming itself to be the subject, when the real subject is Purusha. So one part of Prakriti assumes itself to be. Why that assumption? Because that Prakriti has the unique power to reflect that consciousness. Therefore it assumes, I am. He says, no. There. It's not yours. It is his. Therefore you have to offer all this. Is there. Once you offer the whole thing, there what will happen to you? Nothing will happen. You will become the Purusha. Right. We'll see next class.
Purusha is lending itself actually.
Sorry?
Purusha is lending itself.
Purusha,
Prakriti,
yeah. I wouldn't say Purusha lending, Prakriti borrowing. Because Purusha lending is equal. Equally it is there to everybody. That's it. Remember the example, sunlight. Sunlight is hitting the road, also the water. Equal. It's not that it is hitting more here, less there. Or more there, less here. No. Equally it is hitting. But then the reflected sun you will see only in water, not in the road. Why? It is not because of this. The moment there is a reflected sun, the reflected sun starts assuming itself to be an independent sun. You see, I am independent agent. He says, no, you are not independent agent. You are dependent. Dependent on what? Dependent on the sun above, which is Purusha. So therefore, who is experiencing the whole thing? Purusha is experiencing. So experiencing means what? The real experiencer. Then the question will come to all of us is, sir, appa samsari isku Purusha va? Correct, no? If you assume that way, if you go through the same reasoning, next step will be what? Oh, so the real experiencer is Purusha. So our actual experience is samsara. So who is actually experiencing samsara? Purusha is the one who is experiencing samsara. No. You say no. How? That will defeat the whole equation. Because if Purusha is equal to samsari, then there is no solution. No redemption possible. No liberation possible. Mukti, mokshala not possible. Purusha ve samsari. No. Then who is the real samsari now? The next verse. So this is the base he is building for that. So every verse is a building. One leads to the next, one leads to the next, one leads to the next. That way it's very mathematical. The fellow wrote, I don't know. Poetry mathematical, how to write? I don't know how to write like that. Mathematical poetry or mathematical formula in poetry. I don't know, must be genius to do something like that. This is a very simple way presenting, not in a very complex manner and all that. Because we don't know the language, it looks, maybe a little complex for all those things. But if you actually read it, if you read the sentence, is there any difficulty in that? In the production of effect and cause, matter is said to be the cause. In the experience of pleasure and pain, spirit is said to be the cause. You don't require dictionary for any word. But you put all the words together, you simply don't understand what is he saying. Fascinating text. Who is the one who is actually experiencing samsara? Who is the samsari? No. How does he experience? Why does he experience? on how that whole thing comes is the next verse. Further extension of 21 in reasoning. If you go, next verse will come. You see the next class.